Hey everyone, it's Brick Waffle again, and we are back on the WaffleMods server. And today we're going to go through a few more things that we were looking at on our checklist last time. So let's go ahead and open that checklist up, a clipboard, and see what we have to do. So you can see in between episodes I've finished the basement. I'll show you guys that in just a minute. And what I mean by finished basement is I've got the walls and the ceiling and the lighting up. There's really nothing in it yet. We're going to make the wither killer, and I've done some of the prep work for that offline because it does take some time to get all the diamond and compressed obsidian or whatever they call it and all those materials together. And we're going to actually work on 3x ore processing today, and we're going to leave the building episodes for another time. We're going to do a little bit of technical stuff, and hopefully that will be something you guys look forward to. So let's come over here and start by hopping down the elevator. So on our first sub-basement, we've got this laboratory pattern with the corp blocks and some laboratory, lots of checkered kind of patterns and lighting. And same thing for the second sub-basement, same thing for the third one. And in the bottom, we've got this kind of sheet metal, what is this called? Technical blocks. And then we got some limestone and some glowstone up in the ceiling. I'm not super happy with the lighting, but it does work. And if we look at where the spawnable areas would be, there's still a few spawnable areas in here, technically, but there's a magnum torch underneath this floor. So we're not going to get any spawns down here, and it keeps the lighting kind of moody down there at the very bottom level. Okay, so let's go this way. Let's go back over here, and I'll show you a little bit about what I've done on the wither killer. So down here, I've put in all of the box except for the wither killer machine itself, and the reason for that is we need to get some nether stars to finish that. So if we look at the wither killer block, there we go. We need 4 wither blocks, which isn't a big deal. It's just diamond infused obsidian and iron. It's costly, but it's not difficult to get. Bow, diamond sword, all that stuff. Logic matrix is a diamond, some nether quartz, and some practicality silicon. But this imbued nether star is the big one. It takes 8 nether stars and then this radiant core. So we need 8 nether stars before we can finish that thing, which means we're going to have to fight 8 more withers. And we may or may not get to that in today's episode, but I just wanted to show you where I stopped so far. So that's what we need to do here. So 3x ore processing. I mentioned this in a previous video, and let's go ahead and put this away for now. And this is mechanism that I'm going to use. So we've got 2x ore processing from the draconic chest. That works just fine. But what we really need to do is get into mechanism to start 3x, and then eventually what we'll be able to do is do 4x processing. So the first thing we have to do is make a metallurgic infuser, and this is going to help us make a lot more of the materials we need for other things. So if we click that, we got a metallurgic infuser. Perfect. Look at that. We got something there. I probably want this up here because this is really only going to be useful for making other items in mechanism. So let's stick that guy right there. He needs some power. Looks like he's got it. And we probably also want to make some speed upgrades for him at some point, but let's see what we have in terms of speed upgrades. Speed upgrades for mechanism. We need some enriched alloy, which we have to make with that machine. There might be some on the shared network. There are. Let's see if I can get a couple of those. And then let's see if we can also do an energy upgrade. Energy upgrade. There's that one. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, 3. Okay. So that's all the alloy we had on the shared network. So if I go to the upgrades panel here and I drop in all the speed increases, you'll see that these go through shortly and increases the speed of the machinery, but also increases the energy cost of the machine as well. So let's drop these energy costs in there to help mitigate that. And this is going to go fairly quickly without taking up a tremendous amount of energy for us. Okay, so next thing we need to do is make a bunch of the pieces we need, and this is some of them, advanced control circuits, but we're also going to do the enriched alloys that we just made. So if we look at the recipe for enriched alloys, it's iron ingots and redstone in a smelter in the metallurgic infuser. Now you can use a compressor to compress redstone, and that actually is more efficient, but I don't have a compressor yet. So what we're going to do instead is we're just going to figure out how much enriched alloy we need. So it looks like we need 4 for the purification chamber, and I have this all printed out separately so I could look at it in advance and see how much stuff I would need. Make sure we had all the materials. And I think we're going to need 10 more for the electrolytic separator. Maybe actually 14 more for that. So it seems like we're probably going to need about half a stack or so of that all together. The easiest thing to do for that, though, is to make a stack of it. We'll take redstone dust, 64 of that, and iron ingots. We'll take 64 of those, and we'll stick those both in this metallurgic infuser, and that's going to give us everything we need to make 64 of the alloys. So that should be, yep, 630, and you'll see every time it goes by 10, and that's exactly how much it goes for iron ingots. So 61 of those would be 610 of this. 60 iron ingots is 600 redstone. So we're going to let that go for a few minutes while we're working on some other bits. What we need to do is we need to get oxygen, and then we need to be able to set that into our enrichment chambers and make some factories, all sorts of good stuff there. We need some steel ingots, though. That's what we're going to need to do next. So we have mechanism steel and Tinker's Construct steel already. That's actually pretty good for us. We have some steel casings, although I think we're going to need a few more of those. So it looks like all of the 4 mechanism bits that we need require a steel casing. So let's look at that again. Steel casing. And that's just steel around an osmium ingot. So 1, 2, 3. There's 4 of those. We're good to go. And then we're going to need some control circuits as well. And let's look at those. Control. So we've got a bunch of the basic control circuits, but we need some of the advanced ones as well. And that's also just the enriched alloys. So we're kind of waiting on this to finish. Let's take what we have so far and put it in here. So if we look at the purification chamber, where is that one? It requires an enrichment chamber. So that's the first thing we have to make. That's steel casing, 2 of the basic circuits, and some very easy materials. So there's one of those. We actually also need one of those in general, just because we have to have an enrichment chamber. So now if we look at the purification chamber again, we can do that. Purification chamber. Then we also need a crusher. And a crusher is right here, and that requires some lava buckets, some basic circuits, and some redstone. We can do that. And I believe the last thing is the energized smelter. Okay, so our smelter, where are you? Energized smelter. There we go. So those are our 4 machines, and we're going to start by purifying, and then we're going to crush, and then we're going to enrich, and then we're going to smelt, I believe. Alright, so now we want to do these work, and they're fine on their own, but we want to make those into factories. And let's just go to factory. And we want to do some basic factories. And you can see basic smelting, basic enriching, all that stuff. So basic purifying factory is the same purification chamber plus a few materials. So let's do that. We'll go to basic purifying factory, basic crushing factory, basic enriching factory, and basic smelting factory. Okay, so there we go, basic stuff. Now let's see if we can do the advanced factories. And advanced factories require some of those advanced control circuits, which we don't have any of here right now. So that's going to be our next gate. Now let's put that back for a second. See how we're doing in the the metallurgic infuser? Almost done. Let's get those last 2 out of here. And then we'll be able to make some of those advanced control circuits. So as long as you have the right materials, this is really not that difficult to get into 3XOR processing. Circuit, and red ones, and that's just 1 regular one and 2 enriched alloys. So I think we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that right? Come on, keep up. There it goes. All right, so that looks like it's right. So advanced. There we go. Purifying factory. Let's just stick that in there. Crushing factory, enriching factory, and smelting factory. Awesome. Now what do we need for more of those speed and energy upgrades here? So we're going to go for energy upgrades first, I think, and make this thing take as little as possible. Where am I missing these? There they are. And that's more of those enriched alloys and some pulverized gold and glass. 5 altogether. So that's not going to be great, but it's going to help a little bit. And then what about speed upgrades? Speed upgrades. Pulverized osmium. There's 8 of those, 8 of those. So it looks like 9 altogether. And that'll be alright. So we're going to be using a little more energy than we get, but this is going to be fairly fast for us, and we can make more of these upgrades later on in between episodes. I just want to make sure you guys see how this is all supposed to go together. Alright, so I mentioned we need oxygen, and to do that we're going to need electrolytic separators. And we have, looks like 1 on the network right now, but we're probably going to need a couple of these. So let's make another one. We have to have an electrolytic core, and that's made up of alloys and some dusts. Let's see, do we have all the dusts? No, we don't even have all the alloys anymore because we just used them all for upgrades. So let's make another stack of those alloys, and I'll start making some dusts, and I'll get back to you guys in just a minute. Alright, so we are grinding up some gold into pulverized gold, copper, and cobblestone. We need this pulverized gold for what we're working on here next. I'm going to come back and get the rest of that in just a minute. I made up some more upgrades, and I made a couple of gas tanks while I was waiting for these alloys, and I figured I might as well just go ahead and do several stacks of those enriched alloys. That helped us get all the upgrades we needed, so the next thing we need to do is look at electrolytic cores. We need another one of these, and now we have enough for that. And then we need an electrolytic separator, which is also fairly straightforward now. Oops, so I can't stack those, but we are going to come over here and put some of that stuff away. Okay, so the idea here is you're going to need water to go into these things, and then it's going to separate that out into hydrogen and oxygen. And you can use the hydrogen for a gas burning generator. So let's see about making one of these as well. It looks like we need another electrolytic core. And then, what is that, steel casings? Okay, so a couple steel casings, 1, 2. Gas burning generator, there we go. And that will help us supplement our power by doing something with this excess hydrogen we're taking out. So gas conduits, we actually might need a few more of those. Gas conduits. Do we have enough material to make it? We do. Let's go ahead and get a couple more stacks of that stuff as well while we're at it. Okay, so we need power, we need all this good stuff. I think we're doing fairly well, but now we have to figure out, let's go ahead and take all that and put it in the network, where we're going to put this. So I'd like to place it downstairs, but in the short term, I don't have any enough material to make another tesseract to take down there. So that requires us to have some liquefied enderium and all that good stuff. We could potentially move this, but that's going to be a little bit of a pain, and we could potentially go up here and move our QED, and I think that's actually going to be the best place for now. So let's go ahead and move the QED. I think I took out one too many blocks there. Yep, there's the core block, or the anti-block rather. Okay, and we're going to hang on to our QED here. Let's just throw him in our bag, like right there. That ought to work. Okay, so we need a little bit of space, and we're going to need some power to come up here as well. So let's go ahead and go behind this wall and see where we can go. Looks like there's already a gap there. Okay, so there's power right off the top of our block here. Let's go ahead and turn ourselves into a blaze as well. Now let's throw a marble in there. Don't care what it is. Stone. Oops. Don't care too much about that either. Alright, so if we bring up right there. Oops, come on. There we go. That's going to let us bring power straight up from that place into our machines. So let's go from here. Ooh, come back up. What's going on? Oh, there it goes. Had a little issue there. Okay, that way. And we're probably going to need to bring out all of this stuff too, I think. I think we're going to need to take all that stuff out of the way. And then we're going to need to put in some conduits. And that's going to let us get, probably don't want it there actually, probably want it one lower. And these conduits are a little hard to break with picks and whatnot. It's kind of a unfortunate side effect. Whoops, didn't mean to put that back there. Yeah, see what I mean? It's weird to get over here and like hit this thing so much. Okay, stone. Put that back. And let's get our power across here. That's looking pretty good. And we're going to need to bring some gas up into our purification chamber. So we'll probably do that. Where do we think we should do that? Maybe we should do it backwards and have the purification start over here and we can do gas in this wall. Can we, is this right outside? It's not right outside, okay. So we're going to make this room look nice when we're all done again, of course. But for now, we need to get the electrolytic separators. And you know what I forgot? I forgot to bring a water tank up here. So we've got a water tank, one of the ender tanks, that we can pull water from. I think it's even coming from Spawn Town. But let's go back down here for a second. See, do we have another one? If I search for, nope, ender. Oh, we do have an ender tank. Perfect. And that looks like it's already connected to the water source and everything. Okay, so we're going to need to bring in water, and then we're going to need to have 2 of these electrolytic separators, and the only downside with Mechanism, see how much space I have back here, they have to face a specific way or they don't output. You can't just draw from any side you want, you have to have them facing a specific way. So let's put the water tank down after we get the separators. And we know we're going to need energy conduits, all the way over to these as well. Okay, so first separator can be right there, and you'll see on one side we're going to be bringing out hydrogen, the other side is oxygen. Okay, that looks like it's got plenty of power, and I can't remember which side's which. I want to say the blue is hydrogen and the red is oxygen, but I could be wrong. So we're going to dump excess on both of these, and that's only in case we fill up our tanks or something like that. We don't want this to stop. So the reason I'm doing this is when you separate water into hydrogen and oxygen, if you fill up one side, the other side will stop generating. So if we ever back up one or the other, we'll be stuck. let's not put the tanks down just yet. Let's get the water tank in place here. And I think I want to put that, where do I want to put that? Maybe even right there. And then we'll take some, oh, I don't have any fluid conduit. Will this put in directly if I do that? It will. Okay, so we've got hydrogen coming out of one side and oxygen out of the other, and I'm not sure which is which. So let's take a piece of gas conduit here and see what we've got. Oops, nope, not what I meant to do. Looks like we're filling hydrogen up on that tank, and then we've got oxygen over here. So when this conduit gets full, it should make hydrogen again, yep. Okay, so that's the hydrogen side with the blue side there, and we want to actually switch this around, and I probably need to make myself a wrench so I can do that. But I'm going to make a couple more pieces. I need to make a wrench so I can swap the facing of these things around, and I need to get some fluid conduit so I can pump the water into both of these devices. So I'll do that real quick. Let's see if we don't have a wrench in here, do we? Am I missing it? Nope. So let's pop down here. Whoop, one too far. Wrench. And let's make yet a wrench. No, we don't have enough stuff for that. What is the basic gear? There we go. Now let's make yet a wrench. Okay. So we got a yet a wrench. And do we have any of the fluid conduits? We don't need a lot of fluid in there, so I think these regular pressurized fluid conduits will work just fine for us. So let's pop back up here once. And fluid conduits. We need to bring, oh, actually we need to turn these things around first. So I think what it is if you hit them, they'll turn the way you're facing, which means I'm gonna have to break this for a second. So if I turn that guy, oh, and then shift right click actually breaks them. That works too. We can just replace them. That's good. And that's good. And now we need our fluid conduits. So we want to come out the top of this guy and into there and there. And this one, come on. Oh, I think I need an empty hand, don't I? That's interesting. Why aren't you clicking? There it goes. All right, let's extract always active. Good, now we're getting hydrogen and oxygen. This one's going to be just about full, and those are both set to idle at the moment. So what we want to do is take the hydrogen out of here and use it to power our little devices again. So we need, actually let's do it this way. Where's our gas burning generator? Here it is. And let's see, how do we connect into that guy? So we need to bring an input in. I think that side will work. Let's get some gas conduit and put it on there and on there. Oh, maybe not. Oh, that's right. They don't like to actually connect that way. There it goes. And then a power conduit. There we go. And I can't really get to those things at the moment. All right, so we're getting hydrogen in here, and we're putting power back out, it looks like. And that should be powering these things, but they're out of power, of course. So what's going on with that? Oops, extract, always active. Oh, no, that's power one. So we need extract, always active, and that is extract, always active, and that's going to be in and out for power. Okay, so is that working? We brought hydrogen out of both of these. What am I missing? We're getting hydrogen in here. We're not taking power back out, maybe? There is no power connected to that. How do we get, oh, you know what? You probably can't connect power to that side of it. Interesting. All right, we'll figure this out in just a second. Can you take power to that side? No, you can't. What sides can we take power out of? Probably only the front, which is where I don't want it to be. All right, let's move this guy for just a second. Yep, only out of the front. Lovely. So maybe we can swap this around. It looks like there's multiple facings for this guy, so let's turn him. Oops, do this again. We'll turn him one more time. Is that working? I think it might be. That didn't look like it worked. Oh, there it goes. Okay, now it's working. So we'll take that power back there, and now we're going to take our excess hydrogen, and we're going to turn that back into power to help us power our whole system here. So let's go up a little bit just because we're getting stuck here. Need a little headroom. Okay. And we're going to get that guy back. Alright, so now this thing is all powering up, and it's just... Ooh, that's our cave back there. It's going to help us use up the excess hydrogen. We don't really need to do this. We could just power it. We don't have to do that at all. But what we want to do is dump any excess hydrogen. So in case the generator ever does back up, we don't get stuck. And then we need to put our water tank back. And now we should be making... Yep, we're full on oxygen there. And we're fairly full on oxygen there. It's making a little bit more because there's a little space and it's dumping the excess. So I think we're all good here. Now the question is, what is this taking? Is it only taking the hydrogen out to here because that's the only place it can go? We're going to have to find that out too. I think so. So what we want to do next is put in some gas tanks, and we want to put these in, let's see, can we do it that way? Will it fill up? It will, perfect. And one over here. And the reason we're doing this is what we want to do is buffer up the oxygen. So let's dump the excess over this way as well. Dump the excess over this way. And then what happens is when these things get full, they'll dump any excess, but until they do... Actually, you know what? I think we want to face these a little bit differently. I think what we want to do is face them so they're facing into each other, because they have a specific output side. But the idea here is that when we're not using the system directly, we're still buffering up oxygen, and then when we come into process ore, we can use it out of the tanks. There we go. So what's happening is this one's filling up, and then it's immediately dumping into this one. So this one's filling up at twice the normal rate. One from this side and one from that side. That's empty, and oops, that's empty. And it's using hydrogen. It's using the actual excess hydrogen here. You can see it's keeping fairly steady and burning that power off just about as quick as it can get it. But it is going to be, it's running here a little slow. And when we connect up the other power, all we're going to see is that we need a little more power than we're putting into the system right now to make this thing really efficient. So let's bring this guy back around like that. And now these things are going to fill back up with power, no problem at all. Yeah, so this guy is producing a little bit of power, and it's mostly coming from our reactor downstairs. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so now we need to do, we've got this thing set up, we need to bring that oxygen out of those two tanks and into our purification chamber. So our purification chamber is going to go, maybe right here. That looks good, and let's bring in some oxygen here and here. Nope. Oh, let's break that guy. Whoa. That's not supposed to happen. There it goes. Let's break that again. And we have a full oxygen bar there, and we need to put our power back. A couple of glitches with Ender IO conduits, not a big deal. And we're going to put that on extract always active, just to make sure we're always putting oxygen into this factory. Excellent. So we've got power, we've got oxygen, and we need to throw in some speed and energy upgrades. Let's start with the energy upgrades. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put the rest of these machines in a specific order. So first we purify, then we crush, then we enrich, and then we smelt. And we're going to throw our upgrades in all of these machines. There we go. And then what we need to do is tell it which side to go out of. So mechanism is a little bit complicated, but the nice thing about it is you can tell it to take anything that goes into this chest and automatically push it down the line. So we're going to do that. We're going to auto sort. Anything that comes in here is going to get distributed. And then we're going to have auto eject on. And we're going to eject. See, output is blue. Right now it looks like it's going to the back, and we need that to be to the left. We're going to turn that off. We're going to turn all this stuff off too. And input is going to be, I think that's the top. I'm pretty sure it's the top. And that's the bottom and that's the back. So input to the top and go out to the left. And then this one we need to do a little bit different, obviously. We need to input from the right and go out to the left. Oops. And then this one we need to do the same thing. Input from the right and go out to the left. And the last one we need to do the same thing. So we're going to do, oops, input from the right, output to the left. And there we go. And then we need to get an ender chest, and I think we have one of those still in our wireless network. So ender chest, That's already configured for brick waffle. Perfect. So that's going to go right there. And then anything we throw through this system is going to go right down to this way. So let's grab some ore and see if this is even working. What do we need? Here's some, no, not ambrosium. Ore. Let's grab some gold ore. Let's grab some ferrous ore. Okay, so we had a bit of a crash, and then I started recording again while I was paused, unfortunately. So what I've got in here is I threw some ore in this side, and we made sure that on each of these that we set the auto eject to on because it wasn't working at first. And now we've started putting in our energy and speed upgrades in each of these, and we're getting dirty nickel dust, and then over here we're getting pulverized metal, and then in our ender chest we're going to get the actual ingots. So now that we have all of the upgrades in place, it looks like we're using quite a bit of power when this is running. So when it was running, we were up to about 2200 a tick, and it looks like we're drawing a steady 1100 or so. So that's about 1100 a tick when we're processing. I don't know why these cables keep disappearing. That's a little strange to me. But the cables are there, I promise. Not sure why they're not showing up. We need to make some covers here anyway to cover all that stuff up. We need a chest up here so that we can put any inputs we have into this system automatically. But this is doing really well. Looks like our gas tank, oh, there it goes. Our gas tank is filling back up, and then this will fill up behind it, so we'll have twice 96,000. What is that, 192,000? No, wait, that's not right either. That's a lot more than that. 180. No, that's probably, yeah, I don't know what it is. It's a lot. It's almost 200,000. Math on camera. It's fun. So we're going to fill this room back up a little bit. We need to put in some pieces, parts here all over the place. I think we can just cover this one up. I don't think we need this at all anymore, to be honest. So let's throw that guy in there. And then where'd I put that stuff? There it is. So anti-blocks we'll need at some point. We're going to need to make, like I said, we're going to need to make some covers. And I think we can cover all of this up. There it goes. And where's our corp blocks? Kind of the venti looking ones. And then we're going to need to make some pieces for that. So put him back here. Okay, so we're going to have to go make some Ender IO conduit facade. I don't think we can do anything about these gas tanks other than potentially move them. But I think it's okay to see that there's some more stuff back there. What I'm going to do, though, is I'm going to make these floors look a little bit better. Let's put in some anti-blocks under the floor here. I think that's going to help. Make it look like it's all one thing. Okay, so do we have a painting machine? That would be the next step. I don't think we do over here, so let's look in here. Whoop. Painting. We do have a painting machine. It's even configured. That's interesting. Let's stick that guy there. We have some conduit facade in it. All right, so we need some of this stuff. And that's going to be our bottom row. And that might be all we need because we're going to have a chest as well. So I think we will need 6 of those. Okay, there's 6 of those. Let's go back upstairs and try and use them. Sometimes these look a little strange when you place them. There we go. That looks good. 6. Yep, I'm okay with that. Yeah, you can see back here a little bit, and I could probably fix that up in the future. And we're going to put a chest in here. So I'm not too worried about what that looks like at the moment. You know, I'll probably want an anti-block or something back there, though. But anyway, like I said, we're going to put a chest in here that's Ender chest configured so that it's separate, not yellow, orange, blue for brick waffle. We want it to be a little bit different so that we know we can throw ores directly into that. Let's see, do we have enough materials to make an Ender chest? Throw all of that stuff in there. Ender chest. We do, awesome. And then do we have a diamond and some dyes? Actually, we probably need 2 of these, don't we? So let's see if we can make another ender chest. Otherwise, it won't be, or an ender bag at least. Ender chest. Can we make a second one? We can. Fantastic. What kind of dye do we have? We could do all white. We could do red, blue, or green. Let's do a bunch of red here. So we're going to put both these chests down. We're going to lock both of them. So they're both for us. Oops. Come on, guy. Let's go on the top here. Maybe I can get it. Red, 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 red. Okay, so those chests are ore chests. Now what we're going to do is we're going to... Come on. I'm trying to break you and not the floor. I want to put one of them down here so that we can put stuff into it for smelting. Let's leave them right there. And one of them this way. There we go. Take him up and put him on top of our system. Right in here. And ender chests open even if there's solid bricks above them. And I know, we'll fix that a little bit. You can see the stone later. But now if we put anything in that chest, it should go through and right back into our network. So what we need to do is see if we can get some ore out again. Let's get some gold ore this time. See if we don't crash. That's good. Now if we throw it in here, it should start disappearing. But it's not. Oh, you know what? I don't think the mechanism stuff can suck it directly out of the ender chest. Or I've got the side configured incorrectly. That's insert. That's speed upgrades. There we go. Now it came out right away. There we go. All the gold is going into that thing. Perfect. So do we have any more anti-blocks while I'm in here? Oh yeah, we got lots of anti-blocks in a variety of colors. So let's take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. And let's put in the anti-blocks instead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. Yeah, there we go. Now it's looking pretty good. And maybe I should do a corp block back there too. Corp. I think those are the stripy ones I want. No, they're the wrong way. No. Oh, wow, lots of stone back there. Let's see if we can fill that up again. That's the problem with the haste pick sometimes. So corp blocks this way. There we go. That should work. Perfect. That's looking really good. I'm really happy with that. Okay, so let's throw all of this stuff back in here. Let's, oh yeah, I can't take that out. Let's open. And we're going to check 3x ore processing off of the list. So the next thing I have to do, like I said, is kill some withers. We'll probably save that for another episode. But this is working very well. I'm really happy with that. So now we can throw any kind of ore we want in here and get 3x ore processing. So let's see. Let's grab some copper ore and throw that in here too. Why aren't you going anywhere? Oh, there might not be room still. It might still be processing the gold ore. Let's double check. Okay, yeah, it's still processing the gold ore. We ran out of oxygen. That's what's going on. But if I take that out, yeah, there we go. Now we got copper in here as well. Okay, so everything's working. We're just running a little slow on oxygen, and that's fine. This isn't the fastest thing in the world, but it's going to keep working slowly and steadily. We're going to make oxygen here and use it to process these bits of metal, and eventually we're going to be all set. Okay, that's going to do it for today. Hopefully you guys liked this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. If you really enjoyed it, then please subscribe. And as always, I've been BrickWaffle. Thank you for watching.